Sir Elton John is now a knighted elder statesman of pop, but his 1970s peak was defined by a chaotic, outrageously flamboyant stage persona. Before the glitter, he was Reginald Kenneth Dwight. He grew up as a shy boy in a restrictive council house in Pinner, raised by a strict father who remained emotionally distant throughout his childhood. Reginald was a piano prodigy, winning a scholarship to the Royal Academy of Music at age 11. While he excelled within these austere institutional walls, he resented the rigid expectations of classical training and often skipped classes to ride the London Underground. His life changed in 1967 when he answered a talent advertisement in a music paper. He was handed an unopened envelope of lyrics written by a stranger named Bernie Taupin, marking the start of a songwriting partnership that has lasted over 50 years. To distance himself from his past, he legally changed his name to Elton Hercules John. It was a clean break from the boy his father had tried to steer toward a career in banking. This new identity functioned as a psychological armor, a suit engineered to help a traumatized Reginald Dwight conquer an industry that demanded constant showmanship. The pair developed a unique, isolated workflow. Taupin would write lyrics alone in under an hour and give them to Elton, who would compose the melodies in 30 minutes, without the two ever being in the same room. Between 1972 and 1975, this fueled a statistical anomaly: 7 consecutive U.S. #1 albums. Maintaining that momentum required constant, overlapping global tours. To survive the extreme physical and mental demands, Reginald pushed his Elton stage presence to manic levels. His costumes became a visual escalation of his alter ego. Outfits made of ostrich feathers and oversized glasses functioned as a psychological shield, masking his deep-seated insecurities from the millions of fans watching him. But as the colorful Elton John grew more famous, the real Reginald Dwight was increasingly isolated and erased. By the late 1970s, the weight of his global fame and the pressure to maintain the facade reached a breaking point. He turned to self-destructive coping mechanisms, including a severe cocaine addiction and heavy alcohol abuse, alongside a secret struggle with bulimia. While hiding his true sexuality from the public, he lived through a brief 4-year marriage to a woman named Renate Blauel, a union he later described as living a lie. The Rocket Man persona had successfully protected him from his childhood trauma, but it had mutated into a force that was now actively destroying him. In 1990, the HIV/AIDS epidemic began striking directly at his inner circle, forcing him to confront the reality of the crisis. The turning point was his friendship with Ryan White, a teenage hemophiliac who died from the disease. The loss broke through Elton's drug-induced haze and forced him to evaluate his own survival. Realizing his lifestyle was unsustainable, he entered treatment and has remained clean and sober since 1990. Survival required a reconciliation between his two halves. He stopped hiding his vulnerability, allowing the authentic Reginald Dwight to share the spotlight with the rock star. In 1992, he established the Elton John AIDS Foundation, weaponizing his fame to fund HIV prevention and eliminate the stigma surrounding the disease. The scale of this work is massive. The foundation has raised over $600 million to support programs in 55 countries over 3 decades. Looking at his life in total, the impact of his philanthropy now completely dwarfs the volatile period of his 1980s addictions. His current life is defined by stability. He is a sober family man, married to filmmaker David Furnish and raising their 2 sons. He also achieved rare industry longevity, becoming the first solo artist with UK top 10 singles across 6 different decades and reaching EGOT status, winning an Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, and Tony. Elton John sold 300 million records, but his most significant achievement was surviving his own alter ego. He reconciled the shy boy from Pinner with the global icon, transforming a pop facade into a lasting engine for change.